let's start that. So yeah, so what do we need to do on this thing here? We've got the clock face, obviously.
Yep. So, sorry, what do you want me to take you through?
Oh, just basically what you need to do to restore it, sort of thing, and just
in terms of
what you had to.
Right. Well, basically, in terms of restoring it, you see these wax numbers here.
Yeah.
These Roman numerals. The old wax got to the point of no return and either come out or was hardly there at all. So this has been basically where it's been engraved in the past. That's all now been. The old wax has been taken out, the new wax has been filled into that engraving, and then basically on top of that it's been resilvered.
Resilvered, right.
Alright.
What does that mean? You mean
That's
silver put on, or just some sort of
putting a layer of silver on it.
Really? On the top of the wax?
Yeah.
But it's see-through, is it, the silver?
And then it's lacquered.
Right, yeah.
Now, over time, the lacquer will discolour.
Yeah, right.
Now, how quickly that'll be in a warm climate, I can't comment.
Yeah. But we're talking decades, or just years, or months, or?
It should be years.
Yeah,
But obviously, in terms of your climate, I can't say how long that'll be. This is what we call a matted finish, and this 20 million tonnes of 300 years of crap in it.
Sure, yeah, totally.
And so all this has been cleaned out and then lacquered.
Do you do that with like a little high pressure thing, water or air, or
we use
chemicals?
We use chemicals. Chemicals to do it.
Yeah, it's come up fantastically since when I saw it, I must say.
I'm very, very, very
pleased. Is this
pleased.
gold, or what is this?
No, these are gilded. Yeah, these are gilded.
Yeah.
And these may well have been mercury fire gilded at one point. Yeah.
Wow.
At one point.
Yeah.
In terms of the wheat ear engraving, this is quite unusual to have it going around the dial itself. But basically,
that's this stuff here we're saying.
Yeah. This is this check. We call this wheat ear engraving that's going around here.
Wheat ear engraving.
Wheat ear.
Wheat ear, right?
Yeah,
yes.
as in corn.
Yes, gotcha.
This is what we call the chapter ring.
Yeah.
And this is the dial. These are spandrels.
Yeah.
And the spandrels here, they basically, I'm pretty sure they've been mercury fire gilded.
Yeah.
At some point.
Is that's for strengthening or something?
No,
that's just for look or
aesthetics reasons.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So that's the dial. So we've done a whole, and that looks fantastic.
Yeah. And also the calendar ring. That's also been resilvered as well.
Yeah. And there was something wrong with the back of that, or something, wasn't there?
Yeah.
Back there was,
if you come round this side.
Yeah.
If you come around that side.
Yeah.
Right. If you look at that wheel there.
Yes.
Okay, the newer in terms of colour.
Oh yeah, I see. Yeah.
That basically is what was missing.
Oh, it's missing completely. Yeah. Right.
And so a new one had to be made.
Yes.
Plus the kind of what we.
Do they make them by hand? Do they? Or I mean, they must.
Yeah. I mean, basically what we do.
Made,
I mean, it's all made in relation to your clock.
Yeah. Wow.
Because it has to be made to a certain. Well, I won't go into the
sure.
But basically, you have to have the right type of wheel teeth shape, so that it meshes correctly. And then, of course, you have to position the flag that's been attached to that wheel, which drives the calendar.
Yeah.
So all of those things have to be done. Because I'd imagine that at some point maybe it's been taken off because it might have been jamming, it was worn.
Who knows, and somebody forgot to put it back,
Yeah.
Is this a little, I just see this here, is that a spare, it's not a spare thing, this little here, that's just tying off the top.
Yeah, no, these basically are tying off of the gut line.
Okay, and that's a little bit of extra gut line, is it? Or just, right. Yeah. Two things I just thought of back to putting it together. When you put this top bit on, it just slides on. Does it fix to this thing at all?
No,
or it just rests there?
See these lugs here?
Yeah.
Basically, the lugs will guide it to the back, and the idea is that these stop it from falling forward. It just sits there, and in many respects, it's a kind of dust cover.
Gotcha.
So you've got what we call the backboard and the hood, and basically it's a kind of dust cover.
Fair enough. And this is the thing before you were trying to push up from the inside to grab the little latch on the front door of the thing. Yeah.
I mean that basically has been there since the clock case was built, and if you put your hand up, it should move it up like that.
Yeah. There you go.
All right.
So there's a little metal sprocket we saw in the hood, and Dale will find that to attach if he wants to. Yeah. That's fantastic. I guess the final thing in this end, you just want to just give us two thoughts on. I know you said that this was about, what did you say, 17?
It was about 1700, 1690, 1700, 1710. So it's around that 20-year period.
1690 to 1710. Christ, that's old. That's that's very old, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
And what are the sort of indications that tell you that it's that sort of age? Because I think you were telling me before that these guys probably were only in business for about 10 years, Newman, Dublin. Cause
they're not very in those days.
No records and things per se.
In those days, people very rarely were in business for very long, mainly because of the life expectancy at that time, and also in terms of training. Once they passed their apprenticeships, which may have been a 10-year or so apprenticeship, then they were probably working for themselves for maybe 5-10 years, maybe longer, if they were lucky enough to live for longer. And then they would pop their clogs.
Yeah.
It's a different era.
Yeah.
And
so hence there are no corporate records, nothing like that. So you got to go.
No, corporate records. No, far from it.
And then, they weren't continuity of businesses, sort of thing. There was more people working for themselves.
You did find occasionally where you had father and son kind of businesses, but not that often. That often. Now, early indicators in relation to the clock itself are the wheat ear engraving specifically. Things like these half-hour markers, the Roman numerals and the relationship to the Arabic numerals, the mat centres, this nice engraving here, and particularly if you come around this side, where you have what we call finned pillars, which is this decoration on
okay, yes, I can see that, yeah.
Now, what you also can't see, because they're no longer there, but on the front of the movement, it would have had latched pillars.
Right.
Okay, and what basically that means, for what intents and purposes, you had, for ease of opening and closing it, you had a kind of latch that just went over the pillar and held it in situ. Sadly, these have been removed a long time ago.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Probably because they became worn.
But
anyway, apart from that, all the screw points are there. I mean, you could put them back. Do you want to put them back? That's a conservation, restoration, ethical kind of
one of those variants.
But anyway, from your perspective, it doesn't affect the clock working or not working. All right, so the combination of all of those things plus reference material will indicate basically the age of the clock.
Right.
All right. If you want to, I can go and grab my reference book and you can.
Oh no! I'll take your word for it. I mean,
no. I mean, if you want to, you can take a picture of the page or something.
Oh right, yeah, okay. I'll take a picture of the page. Yeah, sure.